Welcome to Spintown, everyone. I'm in Orlando. Well, after getting to the convention center an hour and a half early, I still had to wait in a line that was as long as a football field, and by the time they start letting people into the convention center, it was probably 3 times that long. That is C418. He is the guy that creates music for Minecraft, and he did that up there on stage for about 45 minutes, I'm guessing, while everyone was being seated. He was playing his tunes and stuff like that. Here, one of the first things they did was introduce Dinnerbone and Jeb and a few of the other people who were working on the various versions of Minecraft. Now, throughout this video, I'm just going to jump from clip to clip of the things that I enjoyed while I was there. A lot of these things I'm only going to show short bits of because you can find better versions of them on YouTube already. No point in me uploading a bad audio of the same thing. So, one of the things I enjoyed about my seat was I ended up being right next to the mini stage where they introduced some of the people. Like right here in about 5 seconds you're going to see Notch just a few feet from me. Later on, Captain Sparkles and some other girl I'm not familiar with, Cupquake or something like that, was there. So that was kind of neat, especially since I didn't even see Notch climb up there. All of a sudden he's just there. I was like, whoa, wow, cool. And one of the things about MineCon, the whole experience in general, was that it's huge, but yet small enough to where you can interact with the people you came to see. So it was really fun, and we'll go on and let Notch talk now.
How does it feel being on stage? It just keeps getting larger and larger. And
yeah, it must be several hundred here.
Yeah, I think it really is.
Several, yeah.
So, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been trying to work on new game ideas, and none of them are really fun. So I'm just basically trying to teach myself new stuff and trying to keep up with modern game development stuff.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So for both of you, how does it feel when you see how the game has kind of taken on so many different lives of its own? What things have made you go, wow, I never intended for that?
Well, I think, MineCon obviously is a prime example of that. And I think the fact that there are so many people who are actually working basically full time and just making YouTube videos and doing their own conventions and all these cool stuff people are doing. Because when I made the game, I just felt like I was just at home working alone on it, but now there's a big community about it, so thank you everyone.
Well, for me, the really great thing about Minecraft is that so many people really appreciate how educational it has become, and it has really somehow given video gaming usually gets a really bad press all the time, but when it comes to Minecraft, it's almost always really positive and it's very fun and inspiring.
Tomorrow in this room there's going to be an interview with Notch, so Owen, one of our guys at Mojang, is going to be interviewing him, asking him some of your most burning questions, and that will be happening. Jens will be here today, and then also with the Pocket Edition team. So let's give them a huge...
Alright, next you're going to see him introduce Captain Sparkles and Cupquake, who I don't really know anything about again. But they introduce him right next to me, and they introduce them so they can introduce Greg, who is the guy who built all the props and the settings for MineCon. And I thought his story was really cool. He has a great background in the film industry and TV and all kinds of stuff. And I found his panel on day 2 very interesting, so I'm going to include clips of his panel immediately after they do the introduction to him on stage and stuff like that. It's not in the correct order, but I thought it made more sense for this video at least.
So I have some friends out somewhere. Let me see, where are they?
So about a week ago, Tiff and I, we got a little tip that there was a place in LA where they were putting together all the props you're going to get to see on the exhibit floor.
Yeah, so we wanted to get a behind the look for you guys, so we snuck in. So why don't we go ahead and show you guys what we saw.
Alright, so we heard there was MineCon props in there.
Do you think by MineCon 2014 they'll have the lighting glitches fixed? I sure hope so. But anyways, here they're going to move up to the stage and let Greg talk about what he does.
Captain Sparkles, and you've seen Tiffany and this down here on the end is Greg Aronowitz, who you may not know, but he is absolutely incredible. Greg, see, I'm getting nods everywhere. Greg is an artist and prop designer that we have been as lucky as possible to have working on MineCon with us for the past 3 years. It's only gotten progressively better, and this year, yeah, it's just ridiculous. So Greg, I want the audience to kind of hear some of your credentials, so tell us some things that you've worked on.
Well, I executive produced Power Rangers. So I wrote and directed a bunch of episodes of that, and then I did design for Spielberg for 11 years, 13 movies, including AI, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Jurassic Park, Lost World. I made puppets for Jim Henson, and yeah, I worked on over 300 movies like Terminator 2 and I don't know, lots of stuff.
He named Wilson the volleyball.
Sure, yeah.
So Jordan, what was it like being at Greg's house? Can you tell us? It's a very special place. Tell us a bit about it.
It makes you sort of question what you've accomplished in your life. Going through his house, there's just all of these action figures and props that you've made, and these casts of every famous person imaginable hanging on your wall. And I feel like I've done nothing.
Well, that's not true. We all do our own thing, you know. I just make a lot of stuff.
Tiffany, what was it like for you getting over to Greg?
So it was magical. Like, just like everything, you know, all in the rooms, everything was covered with stuff that you worked on, you and your team. It's just so awesome, like, as an artist, it's so inspiring to just be there. And it's so awesome. Now I'm going to go make things.
So Greg, what can we expect, without giving too much away, what can we expect this year to see?
Well, I'm hoping that when you guys go into the hall, you are basically just walking into the game, and you know, you are in Minecraft now.
Alright, now on to the panel. The first thing I want to show you is where he answers how he got involved with MineCon and how it progressed from there.
Is anyone here going to BlizzCon? Wow, so this is like hardcore Minecraft all the way. That's awesome. Well, BlizzCon, if you don't know, is Blizzard's convention celebrating World of Warcraft and StarCraft. And it kind of has the same idea, but it's about like competitive gaming and stuff. But they have all these big statues there of characters from the game. Boo and Lydia were looking at them and saying, you know, we kind of need something like this for MineCon, because we're going to do this little event in Vegas called MineCon. And they said, would you be interested in making some stuff? And I said, of course, that would be great. When is it? They're like, oh, I think it's in like 3 weeks or something. I was like, oh, okay. And that's how it all started. The first year, you know, we ended up spending about 12 days in the end to create stuff, and we made some animals and a little photo opportunity, and then this like 20-foot tall creeper in the middle, and we thought that was like epic. And it just grew from there. All of you guys responded really positively, and we wanted to make it bigger and better. So this year, I feel like it's the biggest and the best so far, but it's gonna get bigger and better. So you know, just make sure, keep telling everybody that you want to see more, and we'll just keep doing more. But I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about what it took to make all of the stuff, and then like kind of see from, like, I talk to people all day on the floor, but I want to know directly from you, like, what you liked the most and what you want to see more of, And then
Okay, next we're going to see Greg talk about how he got involved with prop making and set making and how his career has shaped in general.
This was the first one where my mind was able to put together the fact that somebody had to create all those things to be in the movie. Like not only the story, but like, you know, and that's a great example because a lot of other sci-fi movies, like they'll still find existing things to put in the background. With Star Wars, every single thing that they use was somehow created. Even if they took a bunch of existing things, they put them together in a way that you never saw. Like a lightsaber is made out of an old flash bulb holder of like an antique camera, but that's not what you think it is when you look at it, you know. And so I really kind of chose at the age 7 to just like set this path to be able to be like someone who makes stuff. And watching all the behind the scenes of Star Wars, because that was one of the first movies where they actually really showed you how things were made, I thought that like it was just a small group of people, i.e. Barnyard Effects, that did everything. And it wasn't until I got to Hollywood that I realized that it's all kind of segregated, and like the costume people make the costumes and the prop people make the props. But I had kind of tried to work up this skill set my whole life to be able to do everything. And when I found out that it wasn't how it was done, I was like, well, you know what? I don't really care how people do it. I'm still going to try and do everything. So in all these movies and all the different things I work on, I try and do as many different aspects as possible. And it just ends up being super fulfilling. And also we can stay very busy because if you do a specific thing, if you are a model maker, or if you are a matte painter, or even like for CG, if you're like just a, like if you just do creatures, when there's like a lull in that in the demand for that, you end up finding some space. But because we're all over the place, like one week we'll be doing makeup effects for a Fox TV show, and then the next week we'll be doing you know, models for the new Michael Bay movie, or sets for a popular YouTube show, and it keeps us really, really active. But MineCon is like the one time a year where we try and stop everything else and focus just on that show, but still using all those different tools, like all of the amounts of you know, working with the fur, and then this year with the miniatures, and then building all the sets, and then you know, the welding and the engineering for the giant statue. So it all comes in handy.
Alright, because of technical difficulties, I'm going to have to upload this MineCon footage of mine into 3 different parts, I think. I've already uploaded 5 other videos from my vacation on my secondary channel, but it doesn't really have anything to do with MineCon. But if you are one of the people that would like to watch what other things I did on vacation, you can click the annotations that are going to pop up in just a minute and go check out that stuff. I went to SeaWorld, I went to my grandparents', I made a video of my really shitty hotel room, and there's a couple travel vlogs on there as well. You don't have to watch them, but if you want to, they're there. But maybe tomorrow I'll get part 2 up of the MineCon stuff, so hopefully you'll get to see that really soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.